Hello everyone, I am Prerna, your guide for UGC NET English Literature. I hope you all are doing good and your preparation is going even better. Welcome to my channel Insighted, and today we are going to continue with our crash course. For students who are new, I would want to tell you that we've started our crash course on YouTube and we are done with new criticism, and now we will be heading towards formalism, and it is recommended that you follow the previous classes because the topics are interconnected and that's how we are going to approach them. People who would want the PDF of this section can join my Telegram channel. The link is given in the description and there you will get all the latest updates. And also people who would want to attempt the test of this section we have already done of new criticism, you can download my app Insighted, wherein you will get the section of free material. From here you will get the section of free material when you download the app, and you can attempt the test and see how much you are ahead of others, because it is all competition and I have given you very relevant questions which are most likely to come in your examination. So go and do attempt the test, because without test, if you only study the concept, then you will not be able to score higher and the cutoff is skyrocketing, because we have seen in our previous attempt that the cutoffs are really high. So do attempt the test. I would want to suggest you guys that whosoever would want to ace the examination this December 2024, go and do attempt the PYQs, MCQs, go and do their detailed analysis. Whenever you're studying a topic, keep PYQs at your side, or you can also download the app and whatever section we are doing, you can get help from there. Also, people who would want to attempt the batch, we have come up with the initiative with the brainstorm batch. The name, as the name suggests, we are doing PYQ analysis, previous year questions, detailed analysis. Whenever you will ask any topper, he would tell you that the reason he was able to ace any kind of examination was because of the PYQ and the MCQ detailed analysis. So we have launched this batch as at just rupees 999 for the first 50 students. So it is affordable and you can get enrolled and students are getting benefited, and if you want to get ahead of them, so do join the batch. And we are going through the power packed sessions where we are doing revision very extensively in a very engaging manner. So do join the session and avail the benefits of the course. So yeah, Telegram channel join कर लेना, प्रेरणा यूजीसी नेट इंग्लिश. डेली पोल्स भी आपको वहां पे मिलेंगे. Okay. Now, without any further ado, let's get started with our today's topic, which is formalism. Now, what is formalism? Formalism क्या है? Formalism means that whenever we are studying anything, we don't have to focus on the content, we have to focus on the form. New criticism क्या कहता था? What did new criticism say? New criticism says that whenever we are studying a text, okay, whenever we are studying a text, we don't have to focus on its historical background, on its genre. We don't have to focus on its themes or what was the social political conditions when the book was written. We only have to focus on the content which is there inside the book, okay, and the form, of course. But the formalism says that we don't have to focus on the content, we have to focus on the form. We have to see that how the poem is written, how the work has the rhythm, the meter, okay, like we have Petrarchan sonnets, we have iambic pentameter, iambic hexameter, or we have rhyming schemes. So we have to see the structure of a sentence, okay, in which form it is written, okay, it is a heroic couplet or whatever. So this is how the form works, and formalism laid their emphasis that, you know, what are the metaphors used inside a particular paragraph, what is the imagery. So they focused on the structure of the text, that how writer has approached his writing style in a particular text, whereas new criticism focused on both content, form and content, whereas they focused only on the form, कि उनका स्ट्रक्चर कैसा है. अब जो हमारे न्यू क्रिटिसिज्म है, अब न्यू क्रिटिसिज्म के राइटर्स के नेम बहुत ही नॉर्मल हैं, जैसे कि एलन टेट, आयर रिचर्ड्स, हमने प्रीवियस क्लास में पढ़ा, देख लेना प्रीवियस क्लास जाके, एफ.आर. लुइस, ओके, ये सारी चीजें हमने पढ़ी. बट जो हमारे फॉर्मलिस्टिक राइटर्स हैं, फॉर्मलिज्म कहाँ पे शुरू हुआ? फॉर्मलिज्म स्टार्टेड इन रशिया. वो सबसे पहले रशिया में स्टार्ट हुआ, देन इट मूव टूवर्ड्स द फ्रांस, ओके, इन यूरोप. So that's how it started. Now you will see that the formalism names are quite weird for us as Indians. They have names like Victor Shavorsky, Boris Eichenbaum, Yuri Tananov. Okay, so they have this weird name, Roman Jacobson. So if there is a question, like now I will also tell you in our lectures, I will keep telling you that how the questions will be framed. They will give you four writers and they will say that, which of the following is not a British writer, so you have to find which of them is formalism. So formalism के खासियत है that they will have weird names. So whenever you find a weird name, so you can easily understand, it will help you distinguish, so you can take the right option. Okay, so it developed in Russia, as I've already told you. New criticism developed in England in 1910 and 1920, and in USA it developed in 1940s and in 1950s. Now, as I told you, that formalism focused on rhythm, meter, syntax, narrative technique. What was the technique? They focused on the structure of the text, that how was the writing style of the writer. Looking at even more deep in the work to look at minute details present instead at looking at the background. They also did not focus on the background, on the biography. They wanted to know what is written in the text, but they focused on the structure more, on the form more. Okay, and new criticism, they focused on form and content. Formalism, they focused only on form. So you can also remember that, F for formalism and F for form. So you can easily remember FF, form and formalism. New criticism, form plus content. Okay, and these questions can come. Now a very important linguistic circle, Parag linguistic circle. Prague linguistic circle is even relevant today. They organize uh, international meetings, and they work on science systems and on the language. Okay, it was started in 1926. It's a literature society linguistic circle. It was founded in Cafe Derby. It is an extra information, might ask you in the examination, and it will help you solve the questions. Then moving on to the most important writer, which is Victor Shavorsky. He gave the concept of defamiliarization. Okay, very important concept. A lot of time questions have been asked. Do emphasize. I am emphasizing, taking so much of pain, because question can come from here. Now, one of the most important writer of Russian formalism. If I tell you that, what do you have to study in Russian formalism, I will give you names of two writers. One is Victor Shavorsky and the second is Roman Jacobson. We will study, stay tuned till the end. We will also study Roman Jacobson. So Roman Jacobson also gave very important concepts like selection, combination, metaphor, metonymy. And Victor Shavorsky gave the concept of defamiliarization. Now, the name in itself tells you a lot of things. What is defamiliarization? Concept of defamiliar. Familiar means something we are acquainted with. Defamiliarization means something we are not familiar with. Now, what does he want to say here? He says, for example, we are writing a simple sentence. We are saying it is hot outside. So it is familiar to us. We usually say that, it is so hot today, it is so humid today, it is so cold today. We use these basic sentences. But if someone comes and tells us, you know what, today I went out and the sun was on top of my head and it was scorching heat. Now see how, we can make a picture in our head when someone says this, that, I went out of my house and it was scorching heat because the sun was on top of my head. So you can actually imagine, you feel intrigued, you feel that, wow, what a vocabulary, what a, command, what an eloquence. So that's how, people who are eloquent, they impact so much. They, influence us so much. People who are good speakers, not only in English, even in our native language, Hindi. People who are good with words, who don't use ordinary words, who use different words. Like even Urdu is a very, good language. When we speak Urdu, I really like the words which are used in the Urdu language as well, because I feel they're defamiliar. They're not that much familiar. I'm not that much acquainted with those words. So whenever someone use a metaphor that she is like an angel, her heart is like gold. Okay, she has a heart of gold. So we are quite intrigued. We are a little bit more attentive when someone is speaking in that way. So this is the concept of defamiliarization, and Victor Sawatsky is saying that we need to defamiliarize so that we can get a fresh sensation for us. And that's how the writing style should be developed, because they were all talking about the structure, about the form, how things should be written, how this should be formed. Okay, it makes ordinary things feel different, familiar experiences look unique. This is the reason we use metaphor. It describes our feelings in a different way. According to Victor Shavorsky, it is necessary to defamiliarize. It renews the reader's lost capability for a fresh sensation. As I told you, that whenever we are reading something unique, something different, okay, so that I dived into the sea, or I went to see the fort and there was marvelous monuments. And whenever we use some creative language or something which is creative writing, we get a fresh sensation. And they say that this is the purpose of literature. It evokes emotions in us which were alien to us by ordinary language. If we only use ordinary language, why do we read books? Why do we read certain writers? Why do we read fiction? Why do we read fantasy novels? Because they're written in a way which intrigue us so much, they involve us so much, that we are engaged in them. And we are so much engaged that we keep on reading for hours, and we are in seconds, we feel that I have just started reading, and it has been like an hour or 2 hours. So this is how it works. Now, moving on to the next writer, which is Boris Eichenbaum. Not that much important, but just remember few things. So, also one important thing, the question from where defamiliarization questions comes. So, one of the area where question comes is that it was given in the book called Theory as Prose, in the chapter Art as Technique. So, they can ask that where was this, which was the section where this concept was given. So, do remember it was Art as Technique. The concept of defamiliarization was given by Victor Sawatsky in Theory as Prose book, and the chapter was Art as Technique. Very very important question आ जाएगा, फिर मत कहना कि out of syllabus आ गया. वैसे ही common है, सबने पढ़ा होगा, but still my responsibility is to let you know the important sections. Then Boris Eichenbaum, another member of Russian formalism. His famous work is Theory of the Formal Method. Okay, Theory of Formal Method also talks about while reading a text, you need to look at the formal devices, मतलब जो structure, rhythm, narrative technique, ये सारी चीजें, literal devices, in order to understand the meaning of the text. That we need to focus on the literal devices, whatever literal devices we know, metaphor, metonymy, imagery, okay, etc., etc. Then we have Yuri Tainanov. He's a key figure associated to Russian formalism, associated to structuralism as well. Now they will bridge a gap. Now after formalism, what theory we have? We have structuralism, wherein we will focus on the structure. They said that a text is completely isolated of its background, of its structure, of its genre, of its socio-political thing. Structuralism में बताएंगे हमको that everything is connected in a structure, everything is connected in a bigger scheme of things. Nothing is in isolation. We need to have a family. We cannot be in isolation. We cannot be alienated. So that's how structuralism works. So Yuri Tainanov here says that he is a key figure according to Russian formalism, associated with structuralism as well, because in his work we see a a pinch of structuralism and a pinch of formalism as well. Now we will see how. And along with him, we have Roman Jakobson and Vladimir Prop. He is a proper structuralist. Okay, he is a structuralist writer. Might be connected to formalism a little bit. They paved the way for structuralism. So whenever a movement comes, before that, a path is paved. Okay. For example, before Shakespeare, we have university wits who paved the way for Shakespeare great writing. For example, Thomas Kidd. Okay, for example, we have Peeling. Okay, George Peeling, and we have Thomas Lodge. So all these writers paved the way for Shakespeare's writing before him, which were known as university wits, who were from university, well learned. You can watch my session on literary movements. and from there also you will find 2-3 questions. Okay, go and check out the session. It is, I think, the first video on my channel, so go and check it out and let me know how did you like it. ट्रिक से याद किया, पूरे जो भी लिटरेरी मूवमेंट्स है काफी अच्छे से याद करने की कोशिश की है, ठीक है. He has given this work, thesis on language, Yuri Tainanov. In this work, he discussed certain theories which led to the structuralist thought, one of the predecessors of structuralism. Now, this is important for him. Question पूछ लेंगे that which of the formalist writer were the predecessor of structuralism? It is Yuri Tainanov. Unique name, but paved the way for structuralism as well. Okay, the gap between, form the bridge for the gap between formalism and structuralism. Now, what is Roman Jakobson? Who is Roman Jakobson? Roman Jakobson, I told you that, we will do it in the end. So Roman Jakobson is also one of the important writer for formalism. What did he say? He was key figure in formalism and he established the Prague linguistic circle, which was formed in 1926. Question important. Okay, important question. Roman Jakobson gave two concepts, selection, combination, and metaphor, metonymy. He was a formalist. Now let's study. So we have already studied Prague linguistic circle, that it even now it conducts international meetings and it studies about language and linguistics and science. Okay, it is contributing in this field even now. Roman Jakobson के दो important work है, two important works on linguistic aspect of translation and function of language. Do remember that it's Roman Jakobson work, very important. They can give you certain names and you can have to identify which of them is Roman Jakobson's work or which of them is not Roman Jakobson's work. So if you have a rough idea about his works, so you will be able to solve that question. He was associated with Ferdinand de Saussure. Now, who is Ferdinand de Saussure? Do attend the next lecture, okay, which I will come up. So stay tuned on my channel, like, share and subscribe if you haven't already, so that you are already tuned on my channel and you are ahead of others, people who are, not studying regularly, consistently. Stay consistent throughout the examination. So do like, share and subscribe. And write down in the comment section, because you guys don't engage in comment section much. Let me know how did you like the lecture. Let me know what more topics do you want. And in the next lecture, in the structuralism, we are going to study Ferdinand de Saussure as well. And Ferdinand de Saussure was one of the, who started structuralism, who gave important concepts and contributed in structuralism in a very significant way. So we have two concepts, which is selection, combination, metaphor and metonymy. What is selection? Okay, selection is selection of a word. For example, I am happy to go to a new city. And now I say, I am thrilled to go to a new city. So that's how we select. Okay, I'm thrilled to explore a new city. That's how we select words in our daily language. Now, what is combination? Okay, what is combination? Changing of order. We make a sentence change the sequence to make it rhyme or to give a unique experience to the reader. Okay, whenever we change a sentence, we make it rhyme or we give it a unique experience when we change the order. Okay, we live in a house and I say house, we live in poems, we usually change the combination of the words to make it sound better, to make it sound in the rhythm, for the better, for the fresh sensation. And then he gave two more concepts, which is metaphor and the other is metonymy. Now, what is metaphor? Metaphor is when we compare two things. जब दो चीजों को compare करते हैं. For example, she is an angel. She has a heart of gold. Directly, I am comparing her to these two things. ठीक है? But when I say that, there were a lot of people, but I say there were a lot of heads, I have substituted a word, and that is what is metonymy, substituting something. For example, White House. White House refers to, refers to the president or the president's administration, okay, in US. So this is what is White House. Now the crown refers to someone who belongs to a royal family, okay, who is a prince, who's a princess, or someone we know who has a royal lineage. Okay, the crown, royalty comes in when we speak about it. So this is metonymy, substituting something with a different word, but we are able to relate it. And metaphor is comparing two unrelated objects. Charlie was a saint. Now we have completely associated with a different different category, which is saint. Okay, so that was all about our lecture for formalism, and formalism test will be uploaded soon on my application, and by the time I upload the video, the test will be there, so you can download my application, which is Incited. Okay, and you can also join my Telegram channel, Prerna UGC Net English, wherein you will get the PDF of this section. All right, and you can avail the free test here, free from the free material. Here you will find a section of test, and you can attempt the test so that you are ahead of others. And people who would want to ace the examination, our exam might be conducted by December and end or January, so we are coming with the power pack sessions, so you can join the brainstorm batch. Once again, I would want to remind you, so that you are ahead of others. Otherwise, if you don't do analysis of previous year questions properly, then you will be lacking, and you will have to face the brunt of it. If you can do it yourself, it's good, and if you want to do it with, collectively with our detailed and structured analysis, do join the batch and download the app, and the link is given in the description for Telegram channel and for the application. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe with your friends, and write down in the comment section how did you like the lecture. Thank you so much. Happy learning and stay tuned.